going to be talking, reviewing the toughest match for this week. I know some people will still disagree that it's not the toughest, but Chelsea Man City is the toughest match for Premier League game week 12. And Chelsea fans, you know, they are feeling on top of the world. They've ended Tottenham's unbeaten run in the Premier League. And you know that feeling. They did not allow us to rest last week. And they were like, bring on Man City, bring on Real Madrid, bring on Bayern. We are ready. And this weekend is going to be Chelsea, Manchester City. Again, you are close. Your prediction 1-3, but it ended 1-4. So I will definitely be starting with you. Manchester City, do you think you can repeat what you did with Spurs, with Pep? This is Pep Guardiola we're talking about. On Sunday, what do you see happening?
I don't know. Where did you see the Chelsea fans saying that bring on Man City? Because I want to know.
It was all over social media. They were like,
Which social media are you using? Because I did not see it in my own note.
Okay.
Chelsea are still a team in transition. Still playing with young players. Still, some of their players are out. With the coach saying that some of the key players are coming back after the international break. Someone like Nkunku and Romeo Lavia. So I think these two players will give Chelsea more solidity in the team and finishing. But that Man City game is going to be something else. I think Pep likes, whenever he sees Chelsea, he will overplay, he will overthink his tactics, he will overplay. Chelsea has been like somewhat of Man City's kryptonite in the past seasons, but this one, I'm not.
You're scared.
I'm not scared. I'm not scared per se. I'm just.
You're not confident.
Yeah, I'm not confident. I'm not confident of facing Manchester City because.
You're worried.
No, yes, I am worried because Chelsea always starts slow. The first 15 minutes of any match Chelsea is playing, they start very slow. The only one they didn't start slow was against Arsenal. They just started playing from the first minute and they just lost concentration twice and drew the game. But if you check Liverpool, the first match, the first 15 minutes, I thought Liverpool were going to like win Chelsea by 5 goals to 0. You check the Tottenham match, the same thing. The first 15 minutes was crazy. It was chaotic. So if you give Man City that kind of chance, before you even know what's going on, before you say Jack, you're already behind by 4-0 or 3-0.
Yeah.
I think Chelsea can't afford that 15 minutes, first 15-minute laziness, just like they didn't afford it against Arsenal. Because if they had, the Arsenal would have probably won that match. So, that one is hard to predict, though. I beg, my hand no follow.
So what's your confidence level on a scale of 1 to 10?
Confidence level, scale of 1 to 10, 0.5. 1% chance, 99% fit. Leave it in God's hands. Leave it in God's hands now.
Okay.
I think
0.5 is a red card, Abi.
He's way below. I don't even know. Below poor.
Well, I think Manchester City are going to win the game 2 goals to 1. Yeah.
Don't worry, I'm coming to prediction. I'll relax. Okay. So, Gabriel, you were not actually very impressed with Chelsea's performance, even though they won that game. So when they'll be playing Man City, at Stamford Bridge. What do you think about it?
You see, to start with, if you've been following my commentaries, whether as regards banter or when I want to be serious, you would see that whenever we're having a match against a top 6 opposition, you will see that there is this confidence that I tend to ooze, whether it was against Arsenal or against the most recent one, Tottenham last week. Now, there is this thing about Chelsea. I'm trying to situate my my analysis. Now, there is this thing about Chelsea. Man City, to start with, is the only team I would say, or I can admit at this material time, is a mismatch for Chelsea. You remember 2 weeks ago, some people were saying Arsenal was a mismatch for Chelsea, and if you remember, I vehemently disagreed with them because Chelsea, there's this thing about Chelsea. When they meet a team that plays expansive football, they take their chances. But whenever they meet low block teams, like in the case of Bournemouth and the other games we've lost, particularly the ones against small teams, you will see that there is this laid-back approach by our players and to some extent even the coach, such that we struggle to break low block teams. So I was so confident, if you remember, I was so confident against Arsenal that it would, if they beat us on that day, it would be that they were just good on the day, but not necessarily traceable to them being better in general. And that was what played out in the game. And also against Tottenham, you would see that I saw people kept, there is this abuse of the use of the word Ojoro, so that the word Ojoro is gradually losing its relevance. So that when the real Ojoro happens, we are now unable to decipher. Now, the first goal Tottenham scored was an own goal, or deflection, if we like. And it is not unusual for one team to start better than the other in a football match. For crying out loud, this is a game of 90 minutes. So it's not unusual, it's not abnormal for Tottenham to have been the better team in the first 15 minutes. And if you check very well, you will see that even prior to the red card, you will see that we had scored 2 disallowed goals. That is what people are refusing to recognize. There was a goal by Sterling, which was ruled out for a handball, and there was also eventually the one scored by Caicedo.
Yeah.
In the run-up to the red card. That means we're gradually gaining some ascendancy. Parity was beginning to be attained by Chelsea. We're already matching them before the red card. And the good thing about that game is that none of the calls by the ref could be faulted by a dispassionate football fan. In fact, I follow a lot of football pundits and analysts, and the very serious ones were unanimous that the referee hardly got one call wrong in that match. Now, coming into this game that's against City, like I said, for banter, I was already preparing a prayer for the match, like I always do when I'm facing a game that I'm sure that if not for some sort of miracle or divine intervention, we are going to lose. For context, Man City have won their last 4 matches against Chelsea. In fact, it's so bad that the last time we scored a goal against Man City was during the Champions League final in 2021. That's like 2 years ago. This is like the 3rd year now. And in all competitions, they've won their last 6 games against us. So this is the only game that that would humble me to admit and accept that it is a mismatch. But having said that, that said, there is this thing about Chelsea, like I said earlier on, about playing teams that play expansive football. You know, Man City will not come to back the bus against us. They are coming to play their game. And that is, and if it clicks for us, that is likely to be their undoing. Because the thing about us is that it's not as if we necessarily are unable to score goals, but we lack. Okay, look at the game against Tottenham. Look at what happened after the 2 red cards. Ekene was alluding to the fact that Tottenham maintain a high line and all of that. Put a Fabregas players in that Chelsea team, and you would see that the least would have scored in that game would have been 8 to 9 goals. So the thing is, yeah. So the thing about Chelsea is that we struggled. The current Chelsea team, as currently constituted, assembled, we lack the initiative to break low, to score against low block teams, to penetrate. In fact, there is this cycle of monotonous and boring passing of the ball around the opposition yard box, such that almost 7 to 8 of our players are already in their half. So by the time, that was what played out in the game against, that's our last game against Brentford. So you populate yourself in the opposition half, you playing, give me, I give you, you pass to me, I pass to you, you end up having up to 7, 8 players in their half. They already would have positioned 2 players for counter-attack. By the time they win the ball, they just throw the ball to the players that are already positioned, and already, boom, it's a goal. So against Man City, it's a different kettle of fish. As much as I'm admitting that it's a mismatch, and I will say that it will take extraordinary efforts by our player, a miracle on the day, for us to stand a chance against Man City. I'm maintaining that the fact that Man City is not coming to pass back the post, the fact that Man City is coming to play their game, Chelsea stand a chance of at least a draw in this match. Let me leave it here for now.
Okay. So, Greg, you've heard from the Chelsea fans. What do you have to say about that match?
You know one thing about Chelsea fans, they are ever optimistic and always have excuses. That's it. They are talking like you still have Drogba in your team, you still have Lampard in your team. You see that Tottenham match. It wasn't more to do with Chelsea. It had to do with Tottenham. One, they played a ridiculous high line, and even with that, you could see your coach Pochettino. He was just panting on the bench because he was so angry. Like, this season, Chelsea's main problem is they are so naive. Probably because young players, new players. But see the Arsenal match, beating 2-0. Got back 2-2. Even the Tottenham match, it showed their level of maturity and naiveness when they couldn't penetrate the high line. They were just playing like they didn't have a pattern. They didn't know what to do. They couldn't control the game. Anyway, to the Man City match, obviously Man City is the favorites. It's a mismatch, like you said. In football, anything happens. I feel if Chelsea just stick to the same blueprint they did against Arsenal, choke the middle, make them go to the wings, then I don't know, they might have a chance. But my issue with them is that when playing with Man City, you need to be up on your game 100%, if not 100%, 98% at least. And I don't think the Chelsea team, the young players there, I don't think they have that mental strength to be with. Because now when you choke the middle, like I said, you still have this Doku Foden on the wings. So your wing back, I saw what's that Brazilian guy that plays right back for Chelsea? That dude, he was so naive, giving away free kicks against Tottenham, 9 men down. He was still giving away free kicks and all that. So imagine playing against Man City. I don't know. It's going to be difficult, but like every team, 11-11, they have a chance. Chelsea have a chance, but it's going to be difficult. Very, very difficult. Very, very. And I feel they should just use Sterling up front, Ben Jackson, and just choke the middle and just see what happens on the break.
Jackson that scored a hat-trick. Bench him.
That hat-trick is the most, what word can I use? Lifeless hat-trick I've ever seen in my life. I'm telling you, for lack of a better word, it was a lifeless hat-trick I've ever seen. I'm saying, he couldn't even celebrate well, sir. The way he was scoring, I didn't even know he scored, sir. The way he was celebrating, sir, you could see, because Jackson too, you've seen him, so apart from those goals, he has missed a lot of chances. Just, I don't know, he's too young though, but I feel it's just naive. He's not calming down. He's not letting it come to him naturally. He's forcing things. As a striker, you need to just take your time and just let things come to you. You don't force it. You see Haaland now, Haaland just waits, and it comes to him and he scores straight. But Jackson will learn, but I don't think it's a game for him. Probably Sterling up front and then just choke the midfield, use wing backs. I think this guy is back, your captain, what's his name? James is back. Yeah, so I don't know, they have a chance, but like they said, it's a mismatch. Man City is on fire.
Okay. Greg, someone said, tell me if it were to be Haaland, that's what you said. If it were to be Haaland, Messi, Mbappe, or CR7 scoring a hat-trick in such circumstances, you and others would praise any of them and it would make a big headline. You know,
no,
I don't know if it's
what I said, chill, is like we are taking what I said out of context. What I mean is that, yes, he scored a hat-trick, but that doesn't mean he should start against Man City and he's going to play well. I just said that, yes, it's not easy to score 3. Even if you are playing against 5 men, it's not easy to score 3 goals now. But what I'm just saying is that hat-trick, I don't think is something they should look at and say, this guy must definitely start against Man City and he's going to score. Because you can't afford to use Jackson, Sterling. Your midfield will be depleted. That's just the truth. You need to just see, and the first 20-25 minutes of that game is going to determine the end of the game. If you hold Man City first 25 minutes, yes, then the other players start to grow into the team. Chelsea players start to grow into the game, defend better, more confident. But if Man City scores a goal in the first 10 minutes, forget it, because you have to come out. And that's where Man City, that's where they are good at. They just pick you around. You saw what happened to Man U 2 weeks ago and all that. After the first goal, when Man U tried attacking, they just finished it. So, I don't know, but like you said too, it's football and they are still the biggest teams in England, part of the biggest teams in England. So, on the day, anything can happen.
The truth of the matter is that as much as we've admitted that the game against Man City is a mismatch, this is a game of football. And Man City are not infallible. We've seen them struggle this season so many times. You understand? We've seen them struggle. Even against Arsenal, you will see how that Arsenal were able to match them. And remember I said in the beginning that for Chelsea, we always turn up against big teams. Because whenever teams come out to play expansive football, like Man City would on Sunday, we can always fancy our chances against them. We only need to come out and play a perfect game. We need to have, like one of the players that disappointed me against Tottenham was Reece James. Reece James, and in particular, and also Enzo Fernandez, they were not in that game. But if Reece James will be in his elements on Sunday, we can trust him to handle Doku for us. Because I can't remember a winger having a good game in the EPL against a regime that is in his elements. So as much as we know that Man City in this material time are better and that our team is a work in progress, we cannot discountenance the fact that we still have a chance against them on Sunday. And if our players will up their game, if, like I said, Reece